Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Swift is calling for that big bang cutover this year. We're going to get into that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, we are at $4 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. It's nice to see. 1.1% up on the market, and Bitcoin 112,700 plus, 4,500 plus for Ethereum. XRP number 3 spot, $3 on the nose. We're 0% on the 24-hour, up 3.8 on the 7-day. Range of price right now between $3 and $3.04. Now, what's interesting about this is that we've been all over the place with the range. In a normal trading range for XRP, we'd see it trade between a cent, cent and a half. And right here, we're between 4 cents. So that trading is tightening down, which tells me that we're not seeing a lot of movement around the market right now. But look, it's August 28th. Congress is about to come back to Capitol Hill. Head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's quite amazing. XRP has held this $3 position through all of this downturn in the Congress recess. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on here, but let's get started with this. It's Caleb and Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess around. You want to start getting the best night's sleep of your life? All you have to do is go to xrpwealth589.com and you'll start getting it. And I'll tell you what else you'll get too. A personalized service unlike anything else you've experienced in crypto. This is the truth. You guys know I don't keep all my assets in one place, and that is a part of my core strategy and my approach to this digital asset space. It always has been. This is one of them. And if you want to start getting that personalized service as well as that peace of mind and start getting the best night's sleep you've ever had since you've been into crypto, all you got to do is go to xrpwealth589.com and open your free account today. Let's get started right here. This is Dom and Phil Kwok, and I got to give them a shout out, and Paul Barron too, for bringing up XRP Las Vegas. I'm blown away that these guys were blown away as well by the conference, but I am grateful. I'm humbled and honored to have them even speak of XRP Las Vegas this way. It means so much to me and my wife and how we put this thing together. And I'm very proud of this. So shout out to all three of these gentlemen who were really a part of making XRP Las Vegas 25 an incredible success. So shout out to all three of them.
And I think XRP Las Vegas, you mentioned that was really, really special coming together of this whole community. I 100% agree. Dom and I could not stop talking about it when we came out of the conference, couldn't stop talking about it after the conference as well. It was just amazing because it is people who are positive. And at this point in particular, at this stage, there's no room for, necessarily like just the skeptics or people who will question everything. It's really people who believe that it's possible, that we can be on these rails, that there is a better path than just the way that things have always operated. And I think that is probably the single most important thing. Like Dom and I are often, chatting with people who are in different communities. You mentioned a couple of names just now. And people are very skeptical. They're like, is this really possible? And I think when that starts to happen in your own community, then that's when things start to fall apart. And it's like, if the people who are meant to be upholding and building this infrastructure out, like, is it really possible? Have we lost focus? Are things really going to be able to happen? That's, I think, when things start to slow down a lot.
No question about it. And the momentum is absolutely with this community as a whole. And boy, oh boy, just wait till you find out what we just signed last night. Oh, we got news about XRP Las Vegas 26. Just you hold on. But take a listen to this. This is two OF influencers here. And I say, well, take a listen.
Need help.
Okay.
Investing. Don't know what to do, what it is, but I need help. I need help.
Okay, so I would recommend, so me personally, I have 1.3 million in XRP. So right now it's about $2 and something cents, but the community knows that when I know it will bump up to $10, I'm going to be basically set for life. So I would highly recommend buying XRP. Why are you crying?
What the hell did you just say?
XRP. It's
I couldn't even understand what X could even stand for.
it doesn't stand for anything. It's just like, XRP doesn't stand for anything like explicitly. It's just like
I'm screwed. Crypto men come this way. Help me.
just put money into XRP and then you're set for life.
Put my money in it.
Or just spend it all, whatever you want to do.
Well, will the IRS come after me if I, like, they won't come after me if I do that?
You haven't paid taxes in 2 years, so they're going to come after you anyway.
Not if I had my money in this XPR stuff. Right?
Oh, God, help us all. Yeah, there's the people taking care of us in our country after we're too old to do it. Anyway, I say the normies are finding out about XRP, which means it's almost time. You know, we used to talk all the time on the channel in the early days about how you'll know when the market's really ready to go where we need it to when a stranger in the grocery store turns around in the line and says, hey, man, you got to buy XRP, right? Well, this is that version of that, I think. So we're getting close. That's how I see it. Now, I covered this yesterday. It's about OLEA, Standard Charter's platform, right? And how Yes Bank and OLEA and China are all connected and also connected through Link Logis, I think is how you say it. And this is a strategic partnership here, and you can't partner with the XRP ledger, but they're just saying that they're using it. And they're moving the entire supply chain onto the XRP ledger. It is massive news. Now, I'm showing that again today just to show what's happening around the world and around the globe. And here at home, Commissioner Pham puts this out. Just in, the CFTC acting chairman Pham announces the next crypto sprint initiative to implement the Trump administration's crypto recommendations. We are going to win on crypto, she says. And then she reposted and says, so much winning. And it makes me think, obviously, of the president, right? And you can't help but think of the picture with her and Brad Garlinghouse. It is currently rumored that Commissioner Pham, when they find she's acting as the interim chair at the CFTC, and when they fill that position, she's made it clear that she will go to the private sector. It's rumored she's going to MoonPay, and I say, well, watch out. She may end up at Ripple, so we don't know. But the point of all of this for me is more to the point that we see the movement around the globe, the kind of connections, the activation that's starting to happen. It's happening here. It's only going to get bigger. This is more pointing to exactly that. Ondo Finance says in 7 days, the U.S. markets become truly global. Well, this is hinting towards real-world asset tokenization and making 24/7, 365 trading available in the stock market. Is that what we're about to see? I don't know the answer, but it certainly feels like they're leaning in. And I can't wait. We're 6 days now. So let's see what happens in 6 days. I'm super excited for it. I know you guys want to see what it means too. And then we see this from the U.S. Treasury. They just bought back another $1.4 billion of its own debt. This is now a total of $7.4 billion bought back in just the last 2 weeks. Oh boy. Well, with the possible tokenization of the traditional markets, the Fed doing its same old game of buying back its debt, but it's only getting worse. I say we also have to remember that same company, Ondo Finance, telling us about some kind of new comings of this getting available. Well, let's just see it again. Just see how it's said here. U.S. markets become truly global. So, okay. So we know Ondo Finance is also tokenizing U.S. treasuries on the XRP ledger with BlackRock. So let's take a look at this. This is what I got to say about all this buyback business. Proof, the bond market is the backbone to any monetary system. We're getting the Clarity Act passed and signed into law, just like the Genius Act. And you know why I believe that? This isn't about making us rich. The U.S. government needs the Clarity Act passed into law in order to issue bonds to private stablecoin issuers. The Genius Act is worthless on its own without the market infrastructure bill. So make no mistake, this is for them, not us. We just get to get rich in spite of them, and they don't have time to care. This is mission critical for the U.S. dollar. That's why I'm so confident at this point. We will get that Clarities Act. And believe me, it's not lost on me that we will probably see the same news break out while they're working on it as we did the Genius Act. Remember what oh, it's not going to happen. Now it's looking like 26, 27 before it'll go down. They're going to scare the daylights out of everybody. But I believe myself that this is why it's going to get passed regardless of whatever we may hear. If I'm wrong, I'll make the video. We'll see it. Listen to David Schwartz in this old clip here.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are now, and we're trying to move into that stage where we have big players and lots of liquidity, and that way there'll be easy ways to get money in and out. There'll be lots of liquidity for cross-currency and cross-border payments, and it'll become a settlement system that will be of high value.
Very good.
There you have it. That's the goal, right? Well, let me tell you something. I think we're on it to that goal. We're headed there. And then you see this and people go, I got a couple messages this morning. Hey, Brad, what's this mean, man? Expanding the future cross-border payments with Finastra and USDC. The collaboration will enable USDC settlements to Finastra's established network of financial institutions that currently process over $5 trillion in daily cross-border transactions. Here's another article highlighting the same exact thing. It's all right there, and you're thinking, wait, what? I had to go back into the, I had to go back a little bit here. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is right here. So this is High Vibes Asset. Give them a follow. If you look right here at what they laid out as a reminder to everybody, you remember Finastra, MasterCard, cross-border services via Fusion Total Messaging. Remember that? When we cover so much here, this space moves so fast, right? And then what do we see on the back end? Finastra Ripple connectivity, Finastra Swift connectivity, Finastra Euro connectivity. We're in there. It's okay that they want to have access to USDC. It's okay because it won't be the only digital dollar ultimately that they have access to. You can bet your bottom dollar on that, right? So the point is we're in there. So good for USDC, but who's processing it? Who's processing all of this? So you look with that and see that we're still in there. That's why I think there's a lot of confusion where people think it's either on or off. Either we're in or we're out. Like if someone else gets named, then we're out. That's not really, I think, the best way to see it, because there are so many different protocols and they serve different purposes, like Chainlink doing oracles versus XRP Ledger doing payments, right? These things are not the same, and they come together to give us a ubiquitous experience for the Internet of Value. Just like the different protocols that give us the ubiquitous experience of the Internet of Information we're using right this moment. Now, listen to what Charles Hoskinson says from Cardano about Swift can't survive much longer. Well, okay. I got something for that too.
Ultimately, the interoperability is going to have to be there, and I think Swift is going to die, and these other large systems are going to die. They just can't sustain themselves. There's too many downsides. There's too much legacy complexity, and at the end of the day, there's an enormous amount of trust and lack of consumer protection. If nobody believes me, and the bankers are like, oh, well, then go to your bank and try to send a wire. You notice how many times they try to talk you out of sending a wire? Yep. And how many disclosure forms you have to file? Well, there's wire fraud. Have you checked your account? It's just terrible system. Exactly. So let me get this straight. I can use like multi-sig and ledger devices and all these things to have tons of security, and it's super easy for any consumer to do that. But you could be a multi-billion-dollar financial institution, and you have to put in all these bells and whistles, and even still you have some guy call you after you've sent a wire saying, did you really send that wire? You know, I need to know everything about the transaction to verify that's a wire, else we're going to put a freeze on it. That's just a broken system, and it can't survive when its competitor is just tap your phone with trusted hardware in your Google phone or your iPhone, and you just use your fingerprint. We know it's you.
Well, there you have it. And you know what? I think Swift is on to it. And I think you're going to get it with this right here. Smoke Dog's at it again. He says a vertical big bang that we've covered here for a few years is scheduled for November 2025 this year, ladies and gentlemen, just a couple months away. Look at this. Highlighting statistics from Swift that forecast 91% readiness by November 25 this year. It says, as well as a poll to audience that revealed 43% of audience members have achieved all outgoing messages in ISO 20022. It goes on to say, but honestly, I think that what we'll see is an actual sort of vertical in November with a big bang. We'll probably see some gentle adoption between now and Fedwire migration in July, which we've already announced here on the channel. So we'll see the adoption going up, but we're at 40% now, so maybe 50, 55%. And then I think we'll plateau before we get to the big bang in November, right? And then this, for the first time, digital asset use cases will go live on Swift via ISO 20022 in November 2025. With the November 2025 deadline marking the end of the coexisting period for Swift MT and ISO 20022 messaging standards, financial institutions are accelerating their efforts to align with the CBPR roadmap. However, this transition is more than a compliance deadline. Now listen here, because Ripple is a market infrastructure play with XRP Ledger and its other tech stack. It is a structural shift towards enriched data, end-to-end interoperability, and future-proof infrastructure. Future-proof infrastructure that enables new digital asset use cases. So the whole idea of Swift not knowing that they're at the end, I think the Swift knows exactly what's going on. And this shift in November may give us all the answers we're looking for. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.